You may not know what TikTok is. I don't have it on my phone, but 150 million people in America use it every month. Ask your kids or grandkids to show it to you. They're on it all day long. And TikTok poses a real national security threat. It's owned by a Chinese-based company, and China requires its companies to share any data that they own with the Chinese Communist Party and its intelligence services. So about 150 million Americans, TikTok has your location, your age, your name, your passwords, your ID from your face, your text messages, your social media accounts, payment information, all sorts of stuff that China can get. And they can also manipulate the algorithm. It's one of the reasons why we believe so many young Americans are pro-Hamas rather than support Israel in the war. The Chinese changed the algorithm just a little bit, so the pro-Hamas stuff showed up more on TikTok. It is an incredibly powerful tool. Don't ask me. The FBI director just talked about how big of a threat to national security TikTok really is.
That kind of influence operation, or the different kinds of influence operations you're describing, are extraordinarily difficult to detect, which is part of what makes the national security concerns represented by TikTok so significant.
And yet tomorrow's bill that could ban TikTok, to be clear, if they sell it, then it's no problem. There's some very vocal conservative opponents. Interestingly enough, President Trump was for banning TikTok and tried to. Now suddenly he's against it. Then there's Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. With us now, Senator Rand Paul, author of Deception, the Great COVID Cover-Up. Senator, it's good to see you. Thank you. I think the book's important. Goes through what China did. They created a virus in a lab. Charitable explanation is that it escaped from the lab. Then China lied about it. They covered it up. And 1 million plus Americans died. If they are willing to do all of that, why is it okay for China to own a company and have access to so much of the personal information and control of the phones of so many Americans through TikTok?
Well, there is this little sticking point. It's called the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. You're not really allowed to take property from people in the United States without due process. You have to go to court. You have to accuse them of a crime to take their property. The Fifth Amendment says you just can't take stuff from people. So the company TikTok is owned about 60% by international investors, including some Americans. So I don't know that you can take someone's property by fiat. You can't just sort of pass a law and take someone's property constitutionally. There also is the problem of the First Amendment. 180 million Americans use this social media platform to express themselves. And if the company is banned, or you say it can't have the current ownership and the company goes away, you're basically taking their First Amendment rights away with them also. I'm no fan of the Chinese Communist government. I'm the least favorite person you'll ever find, or one of the biggest critics of the Chinese government. But there's a difference between not giving them money and then an economic embargo. So while I'm not for giving China any money, giving them any research money, I'm not for preventing us from having trade with China. Trade is largely beneficial to both countries.
Your points are well taken and well made. I'm not the First Amendment issue. I'll put aside for just 1 second. We'll get to it. But on the issue of ownership, you've taken a very strong line about espionage in the United States and what the government should and should not be able to do. Would you be okay with the U.S. government being able to demand at any time without a warrant all of the things that TikTok is going to be forced to hand over the Chinese? Everything from people's photos on their phone to their location information?
Absolutely not. But, you know, TikTok is not going into your house and taking your stuff. People sign up with TikTok the same way they sign up with Google, Facebook, or any of the other big tech companies, and they do all scrape your information. So if you don't like TikTok doing it, then you want to pass a law to ban it from all countries from absorbing your information, you could. But if you're going to accuse a particular company of a crime and you're going to say that they're giving it to the government of China, one, you would have to prove that. That's an accusation. That's not something that's been proven by anyone. We know that the Chinese government does demand things, but we don't know that any information really is going from TikTok to any of these people in China.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.